All right, so I exported my model from my the lower poly model. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm basically gonna take the stuff I did from Unity and bake it into the model from Maya. So I'm gonna go to my high definition mesh, and I'm gonna right click and remove mesh from this. Okay, I'm gonna right click and go add meshes, and I'm gonna look on here and it's kid high poly. That was my mesh. And I'm also, see how you can also bake a texture? I have this texture right here that I made inside of Sculptress as well. So I'm going to right click in here and go base texture to map. And I am not seeing it in there. Oh, here it is. Kid high poly color. Open. And so, actually, crap. Let me do this again. Base texture. Kid high poly. Okay. And I'm going to remove it. Remove mesh from this. Okay. All right, we will add mesh, kid high poly. Okay. I don't know. There we go. I'm going to make sure I'm on this one and do base texture. Make sure it's on the same thing just so that there's no weirdness there. So I got my model here and I got that color here. So I'm going to go my low definition and remove mesh. Okay, so I'm going to right click and go add mesh. And I am going to add from my scenes here where I put it, the kid low poly. Okay, and that's fine. So that all looks good. I'm going to go to my baking options. And in here, you can see it's going to save it as turkey, which is not actually what I want. I'll go desktop, and we will save this as just kid, we'll say. And save. All right, and the size of the map, I'm going to go ahead and do 1024 because that's what I made inside of Sculptress. And so what I would like to make is a normal map, which is going to be a sort of like a bump map from the high to low poly. It's going to fake three-dimensionality, if that was a word. I'm also going to bake the base texture. So it's going to bake from the high poly to it's going to bake this high poly mesh into the other one. I'm also going to go ahead and bake an ambient occlusion just because I like that one, although it's not really necessary. The only two you really need are the normal and the base maps. And that looks good. And then I'm just going to go ahead and click on generate. Actually, let's see here. That looks fine. Yeah, let's hit generate maps. And it's going to go through this process, and it's going to say only supports triangle quad faces and heads, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So what that's saying is that one of my pieces of geometry have not good geometry. So what I have to do, and I know which one it is, I'm going to go ahead and open up Maya. So if you run into that error, it means that the one, when you worked in Sculptress, it's all triangles. So this will understand that. So that means the one that I did, the retopology, was not quads or triangles. So I'm going to go ahead and do File, Recent Files, open up the kit here. And let's see, I don't want the high poly one. Okay, I'm going to hit Shift I, so I only have this selected. Now, a real quick way to kind of clean up a mesh is if you go to Mesh and then Clean Up. And so clean up meshing polygons, which actually means it's going to go ahead and delete those. So what we're going to do is we're going to say Fix by Tessellation, faces more than 4 sides. I also want to get rid of lamina faces and non-manifold geometry. And we will hit Clean Up. And that should hopefully fix that. So I'm going to take this, we'll save this, and I'm going to try to export this again. So File, Export Selection, and make sure it's an OBJ. And let's see, we'll just save it as kid here. Export Selection, yes. Go back in here, and we'll close that. And I'm going to try this again. So I'm going to remove this mesh, and right-click, Add New Mesh. And we'll add kid, and let's see if we generate maps. If now we'll get an error, and we are not. Okay, so there was obviously some sort of weird error. So here you can see very quickly it creates a normal map for us, which is super awesome sauce. And now it's going to create an ambient occlusion, which is more or less a black and white. It kind of fakes a shadow, like a depth to it, if you will. I'm going to pause this for a second. All right, so it just got done baking my textures. So now I'm going to go through and attach those. I'm going to close, and we can go ahead and hit the little X on the bottom here. And I'm going to take this guy, and I'm going to right click and assign a new material. And I'll just do a blend. And on this blend, come on, all the way. All right, I'm just going to do this real quick. Edit, delete all by type history. Good. So blend. I'm going to go ahead and click on the color. I'm going to go File. Actually, I believe it exported out. Yeah, see, it put them to here, but I'm going to actually put them inside of my project folder. So I'm going to go to my project folder that I made for Maya. And I'm going to take those images that it just created and plop them in there. That way it will work correctly. So new file. I'm going to set the project first because I don't believe I set the project from before. So there, set. And then now we'll hit the folder here and it'll give me the right one. So base texture. So there you can see our character. Mesh display, we're going to do soften edge like that. And now I'm going to do is go to, I'm going to right click on transparency and do break connection. For whatever reason, it always tries to add that in there. I'm going to click on bump mapping. We're going to do file. And I'm going to switch this from bump to tangent space. I'm going to go to the file tab and I'm going to open up the normals here and hit open. And then we're going to go to renderer and we're going to do default high quality legacy. Now, let's see if that, yeah, see, it never looks quite right in here, but it should look okay when you bring it into Unity. Panels, let's do high quality. So there you go. Now we have our character, and they have a sort of thing going on here. So now what I can do is I can select this model and do File, and this is just for now, Export Selection, and we will export out an FBX. And what I want you to do is open up file type specific options, scroll down to this one, embed media, and make sure that that's turned on. I'm going to do KID and hit export selection. And now when I bring this into Unity, so I'm just going to open up Unity here. And we will create a new project. And I'm just going to call this Bob's Barn for now. It's going to be a 3D game. And I'm going to go ahead and assign this to the desktop. And I will create this project. And now what I can do is create a new folder, and I'll just call this 3D for now. I can open this up and we can file, well, I'll just do it manually. So I'll go to, where's that project? All right, and scenes and KID FBX. Good. And then I can drop in there. And, oh, so it wants to fix it. I'm going to go ahead and go and fix now. Because it saw that there was a normal map in there, so it wants to make the appropriate adjustments. So you can see there it is there. And then I just need to make sure that some of the, yeah, okay. There it goes. All right, it's kind of shiny, so I got to fix that as well. And my normal map seems to be a little bit odd as well, so I'll work on that as well. But you can see, I don't like that shininess, smoothness. I'll leave that on there. Wait a minute. Maybe it's, I don't know. But anyway, so there you go. So we have our character brought in, and that's looking good. So we are good to go.